we we are actually executing.
Order 66.
We're executing Order 66 today.
Yep.
Yep. It's emotional. Woohoo!
Shotgun killing the kids.
Are we cutting the thing there?
This is Real Talk Podcast, episode 66. Yeah, that's right. We did things out of order for a bit.
We did. We did.
We have fun.
We got to do it. You got to do it for the bit sometimes, and sometimes just got to make yourself laugh.
Yeah. I'm also going to have to put "We're a Fun Team" on a T-shirt one day.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, fuck. Yeah.
It's just me thumping you with a fake lightsaber. We're a fun team.
It's just like me. Like it just says like whack over it.
Yeah.
It's like the '60s Adam West Batman's like
Wham!
like wham,
Kapow!
but it's just you with a massive grin on your face, just smacking me. So what are we talking about today, Jacob?
Just talking shit.
We're just talking shit.
Talking shit.
Just
the usual amount of shit.
we're doing the stuff.
We went back to the movies this weekend.
We did.
We saw something different each. You went with Nathan, I went with Nicola.
You did. Yeah,
Lots of
well, I
M's.
did as well.
Yeah.
I went to go. You know what? I'm actually kind of glad that I'm back in the movies. It's a weird. It's different. It's a weird and different thing being back at the movies now because everybody is so spaced out and everybody's.
Did you also go to Miranda event?
I did.
Curiosity.
I did. Yeah.
So you're like the whole. You have to show your ticket, sign in, then sanitize your hand, and then go in.
Yeah.
Yeah. Otherwise, they won't let you into the candy bar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty much. And everybody's wearing a mask and everybody's standing like 1.5 away from each other, and you can't go in unless you sanitize your hands.
Yeah. I mean, it's a good thing because
100%.
obviously we're mid-pandemic here, and it's not something you should be
Well, it's not something that
really
should be...
rolling the dice with. It's not
Yeah.
Dungeons and Dragons, but like, yeah,
yeah.
it's good. But you're right. It feels a bit odd. It didn't take away from my experience because I went late last night anyway. So.
Yeah. Where did you go to?
I also went to.
You went to Miranda as well.
I had an 8 p.m. session though. So
Okay.
it would have already been quiet.
Yeah, but that's the thing is like we went in at about 11:30 and we went into like one of the VMAXs, and even in the VMAXs they have blacked out every
Chair surrounding the
it's like-
chairs that you booked,
Yeah, so it's kind of like you're
except the one's diagonal, which I guess sort of makes sense because that's 1.5 meters anyway. I would assume.
yeah, but like
There's the ones directly in front, one's behind, and one to either side.
yeah, but I think that maybe just because of how early we went, there was like 4 spaces. Like there was like 2 seats in front, 2 seats in back, 2 to the left, 2 to the right. So there was like no way. Like it was only like you.
Yeah, well, because it blacks one chair
Yeah.
anyway. So if it was already blacked out when you booked, it would have blacked another seat.
Yeah.
Another seat.
But yeah, no, it's an odd sensation to go back to the cinema and to have people so far apart from each other.
Such strict conditions.
Yeah, and I noticed that I think I went to the movies the other week, and it was still like because everything had just opened up again, and everybody was a little bit on edge.
Yeah.
But I think like when I went back this time, they had COVID marshals or what they had COVID marshals there as well, and they had the mask on, they had hand sanitizer on them at all times, and they also had a red vest on with the COVID thing on them as well. So, and it's a little bit not unsettling. It didn't take you out of the movie experience.
It's odd being alive during a global pandemic.
It is. Look,
It's like it's funny how everything has sort of gone ahead almost without it.
Yeah.
Like I feel like whilst movies, obviously we talked about movies stopping, and you went to see Tenet, which is like a new release, which not a lot have happened.
Yeah.
Which we'll get into what you thought about that in a sec.
Yeah.
But like a lot of the conventions and announcements and like all these things that would have been on in big like cons and stadiums and stuff like that,
Yeah.
they've all just gone online.
Yeah. I mean, like, I think we'll be talking about one of those cons like,
soon.
Sure.
Yeah. But yeah, it's weird because like obviously we talked early on in the year about how we were going to go to PAX.
Yeah.
And how all that, like, we're going to do that. Obviously, we're not going to PAX, not just because it's not on, but because it's in Melbourne. That's really fucked, isn't it?
Yeah.
So that's probably not going to happen. In fact, it's definitely not going to happen. It's going to be online, though.
It's going to be online?
They're going to do all of the panels and stuff online.
Okay. You know what? I was actually kind of thinking about it, is that with these, like, with the cons and all that kind of stuff, is that, yes, it is sad that we can't go, but it's a necessary evil that they're postponed and put off till...
They found a way of giving us stuff anyway.
Yeah.
Which is quite impressive, really, if you think about it. Like, the amount of stuff that has gone just online. Supernova did all their panels online. PAX is going to do all of it. Every single announcement thing has been a live stream.
Yeah.
And then...
I think State of Play...
State of Play was already online.
Yeah. Like, they never really had a con.
But they seem to be doing them with more... increased length and more frequency.
Yeah.
They still haven't announced the release date, though.
I know.
Actually, I will talk about that later, because there was a leak with an exact date.
Really?
Which, usually, if it's a leak, it's got, like, a rough month. But this had an exact date.
Okay.
So I'll get into that in a sec. But Tenet. What do you think?
So yeah, I went to go see Tenet.
Clusterfuck.
Look, I was thinking about it. I was thinking about it all afternoon when I came back, and I love Christopher Nolan. I love his movies. I think he's a really talented director. I think he's a really inventive. He takes the ideas and he kind of flips them on their head, and he's really into like reality and like messing with time and all that kind of stuff.
So this one was a miss, is what you're saying?
Well, it was a miss for me, because you can time travel. It's not a spoiler, I suppose.
No, like the whole thing is based off the fact that they can.
Invert time.
They're not traveling through time, they're inverting it. Yeah. Is what the line they used in the trailer, because I saw the trailer for it while I was at the cinema.
Yeah, so like the whole premise of the movie is that they're not traveling through time, they're inverting time, so they can go backwards and all that kind of stuff. And it's a really cool concept. I think it started off really, really strong, and then it just kind of got to the point where, like, for me, it got a bit boring, it got a bit repetitive, and then it kind of felt like it was chasing its own tail, but didn't quite get it at the end. But yeah, it's just one of those things. It's like, it felt really meta, like really meta, and it was one of those things that was just like, I was just in the cinema the entire time, just going, what's happening? Like, who's who? Where are we? And what timeline is this?
Yeah. I guess that's the thing with using time travel, inversion, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
Messing around with time in any movie is it gets a bit clusterfucky.
Yeah, and like it didn't. I think the creator of Rick and Morty, what's his name?
Harmon?
Dan Harmon.
Justin Roiland.
Yeah.
Also writer and voice.
But like he kind of like mucked around with the idea of it. It was like that one episode in season, was it season 4?
Like the new season where he like creates the save point thing.
Yeah.
It's like time travels.
That, and there's like creating different dimensions and all that kind of stuff. And in Tenet, there is a scene where the main protagonist and Robert Pattinson's character, who is also, he's really good in that movie, where they're talking about like he's trying to explain it to him, and he just doesn't. He's trying to grasp it, but he just can't get it, because like it's all based around like space and time and what is time and all this kind of stuff. And I'm sitting there going like, what the fuck is happening? But yeah, no, it was good to see.
It's either all ridiculous or none of it is.
Pretty much, yeah. And like the inverted action. Yeah. In the trailer, I remember watching the trailer for the first time. The trailer looked really cool. Like it looked like a cool ability to have, where like if you shoot the gun, you'd be able to revert time, like revert the action and catch the bullet and then shoot it again and all that kind of stuff. You'd have like infinite bullets and all that kind of shit. But then like you're watching the action, is like as much as it is cool, it's also really confusing, because it's really obvious to see that you're watching somebody who's already done it just in replay.
Oh, they did that.
So
they literally just played the action to scene in reverse.
Yeah, but like there were some bits in there that were really well done, that were really clever. But there were some bits in there, like there was a bit in like a big skirmish, and it was just so awkward to look at. And then you see it again, and you think to yourself, "Oh, that's what you were doing." But yeah, it's one of those things where it's just like it's weird. It could have been done better, but I think Christopher Nolan pulled it off as best as he could. As best as you can. I don't think anybody except Christopher Nolan could do a premise like that. And he wrote and directed this movie, so I give him kudos, but it wasn't for me. It didn't work for me. I liked half of it.
I mean, not every idea is going to work. That's the downside to all of these things.
Also, I wonder if it was weird for him to have the next Batman in this movie. It's like... I said that.
Remember me? I became like world famous for doing Batman movies, and you're going to be Batman.
Yeah.
Do you reckon he's a little bit salty? He's just like,
oh no, I don't think he's
staring
salty.
at Robert Pattinson like,
it's like, you should have been my Batman.
Yeah. Don't fuck this up for me. You'll never be better than me.
Christopher Nolan is just sitting in his armchair at home, just kind of going like...
No, because he was well and truly over Batman by the time he'd finished.
Oh, really?
Well, he didn't want to do Dark Knight Rises.
Oh, that's a shame.
He was like, oh, I'm done. And they were like, well, not if you want to make Inception, you're not. It's pretty much how that went down. They were like, so we're going to fund Inception. And he's like, cool. It's like, but when you've done that, you're doing Batman 3, or you're not making Inception.
It's like, goddamn, it's like hands in his pocket and he's kicking
a stone down the road. Like,
it's like, fine, I'll make it.
Not fair. I don't want to do Batman 3.
Yeah, so that was my opinion on Tenet. But that's just my opinion on it. If you haven't watched it, if you're into that sort of stuff, go watch it. Let us know in the comments if you like it. And tell me how wrong I am, because I love hearing that. So that's what I saw, and you went to go see Unhinged.
I did go to see Unhinged. It was Unhinged.
You don't say.
No, I really enjoyed it. It was really well executed. I'm glad it was only I think it was almost exactly an hour and 30 minutes long.
Oh,
from memory, looking it up.
So it's not a long movie.
It's not super long, but I just find that thrillers that are more than sort of an hour and a half, 2 hours,
yeah,
sort of drag a little bit.
Yeah,
you're like, there's only so long you can be invested in something of that sort of tension.
Yeah,
and they do a really good job of like setting it up. Like from the opening scene, you're like, okay, this guy is unhinged. It's like, it's not like, oh, it's a cute title, and you're like, from the opening thing, like just like it opens with him just sat in the car before he does something really fucked up, and you're just like, just watching the way he's like on edge and just like acting in the car. You're like, yeah, there's some serious problems with that guy.
Yeah, that's cool.
It does like this fucked up thing, which sort of sets up like I was telling you about it earlier, but I don't want to sort of spoil anything.
Yeah,
and that's sort of like, that's like, bang, okay, he's insane. This is how far he's willing to go just because he's angry.
Yeah.
And then it goes to like this supercut of like actual like news articles and like those YouTube clips of like people road raging and like crashing their cars into other people and like getting into massive car crashes and like news stories of like how road rage and road violence has increased by something ridiculous, like 500%.
500%?
In the last sort of like 10 years, and like that, we as a nation, like the whole, like the world is like on edge, and like we've got this bad with like anger, and like we're only a small push away from like violent, like acts of violence and stuff like that.
It is,
and it really sets up that it's just like, because you never really find out like his full backstory. They like drip feed you like some of it through like some stuff he says and like the way he treats certain people.
Yeah.
You sort of pick what's happened and why
like
he snapped.
Yeah, like.
But like that was one of the things Russell Crowe said. The only way he would do the film was if they didn't try to justify his actions, like they do with a lot of these like thriller like villains. I suppose they're like, they show you like a backstory where he was like abused by a parent, or like he lost his kid, or like some tragedy or whatever happened.
Yeah.
And so they try to frame it as like, oh, but like you could be that guy. And in this one, like he was like, he doesn't want at any point during this film for the message to be confused with it's okay to get this angry.
Right.
So he was like, I'm not doing it if if you try to justify it, he's only going to do it if like they show that like everything he does is like fucked. Like there's no way that your brain should work like this.
Yeah, unless like you're like mentally unhinged.
Yeah. And there's a few like it's like really good writing. The dialogue is good. Like the camera angles are just like kudos to the director of photography. It was fucking phenomenal. It's framed really well.
Yeah,
like you only ever see what's happening the second you're supposed to see it's happening.
Oh, okay.
There's a few stuff where I was talking to you about this earlier as well, where it's like because we've chosen to do these deep dives into movies and stuff, that you pick up on like patterns.
Yeah.
So it's like things like they have a conversation at the beginning of the film about something, and I was like, okay. And then when they got to the end, I was like, oh, so that thing he was talking about earlier about a game that he was playing,
right,
is how they're going to get through this situation. It was a bit like, because she's like, oh, it's exactly like this, and I was like, yeah, I remember exactly what that was.
Yeah. It's just connecting the dots. It's just
and there is one red herring that is set up in the first scene.
Yeah.
And the entire way through the movie, I was like, it's going to be that. 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 And then it wasn't.
Yeah.
It was literally just there to distract you from something else they'd set up.
Yeah.
And I was like, I love when shit like that's happen. When you're like, well, they've been waving this fucking thing in my face.
Yeah.
Every single time, like, Russell Crowe's character was on screen.
Yeah.
So clearly, like, that's going to be, like, what
ends
it?
Yeah.
And then I was like, and then it wasn't. It was something completely different. And I was like, ah. Which, again, is still something they set up early on.
Yeah.
But, like, it's enough for you to go, oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah. And something like that happened in Tenet as well, where they kind of set up, like, this big... I don't want to say, like, I got it straight away, but, like, you watch as many movies as we do, and you kind of... I feel like anybody who's watched, like, movies like that...
Yeah,
you kind of, like, you pick it up, like, straight away, where, like, it's like, oh, that's a red flag. I know exactly what's happening now.
Yeah, it's kind of like you pick up on stuff, because there's only so much, like, new... Like, something can only be, like, a complete left field... move really once or twice.
Yeah.
So you can be like, I find it in thrillers quite a lot where like they talk about something in the first 10 minutes and I can be like, yeah, so they're going to kill the bad guy.
Yeah, pretty much.
Because it'll be like, they'll casually talk about like how, I can't remember what it was. There was another film I was watching, same sort of premise, like thriller, blah, 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 guy hunts him down, all this shit. And they're talking about in the first like 10 minutes how this guy has got the fastest and strongest baseball swing in the league. And I'm like, so he's going to kill the guy with a baseball bat.
Yeah.
And then he killed the guy with the baseball bat. And I was like...
Yeah, it's...
But it's like a casual conversation, like banter between like him and his dad. And he's like, oh, he can't be beat. He's got like the best baseball swing in the league. And I'm like, so he's going to kill him with a baseball bat.
Yeah. It's using...
They're going to go to the baseball field and then he's going to beat him to death with a baseball bat.
Yeah. It's laying down like this is the Achilles heel, and then this is how they're going to go down. It's like in Wolf Creek in like the second. Did you ever watch the second one?
Ooh.
Yeah, like in the second Wolf Creek movie. Spoilers, you haven't seen it. Like the whole point of John Jarrett's character is that he thinks he knows more than the person that he's torturing.
Yeah,
and he gets outsmarted. So it's literally like his Achilles heel is that he thinks he's smarter than them in the chair, and then he gets outsmarted, and then they make it out. But I feel like that's a bad example because in that movie he still wins.
Yeah,
because that
That movie's kind of fucked.
That movie is fucked. Both of them.
But yeah, you're right. It's one of those. They do it quite a lot where they're like, "Oh, this guy is like," especially I find monster movies or like serial killer movies.
Yeah,
where they're like, "Oh, this guy," you know.
It's like with Michael Myers. Michael Myers. Is it Michael Myers?
Yeah.
I was about to say Mike Myers.
It's like Mike Myers, the serial killer Mike Myers.
It's like
with everything dressed in a velvet suit or a turtle costume. Yeah, Michael Myers.
So Michael Myers is like, what's his Achilles heel? Like his Achilles heel is, I think, his mask, or like the fact that he can't take off he doesn't want to take off his mask.
Yeah, he's got like a mental problem, so he can't take his mask off.
Right.
In the most recent one, it was that he was so absolutely just 100% dedicated to revenge.
Yeah.
So they were just like, well, he's just going to come here. This is how we're going to do it. And they're like, that's fine. Yeah, because it's always like, oh, this guy got caught because he did blah blah blah. And you're like, well, clearly they're just going to fucking do that again, aren't they?
Yeah.
Which realistically, you're like, if like that's how he got caught the first time, surely he's not going to make the same mistake twice.
I think we're delving into like the psyche of a psychopath now.
Well, movie psychopaths.
Psychopaths,
not real
yeah.
Psychopaths, right? I don't need a therapist. Yeah, Fandom. DC Fandom is tomorrow morning.
It
Well, it would have been yesterday morning as of the release of the podcast.
Oh, yeah.
So, it was yesterday morning.
It was yesterday morning.
So, by the time the podcast is released, everyone will know what will happen.
Yeah.
But we don't know that because we are speaking to you from the past.
We are. We are.
There are a few things confirmed. We know we're getting something to do with the Suicide Squad game.
Yeah, I've heard that. So I've heard like.
Which, in fairness,
yeah.
Did we ever actually find out that was 100% a game?
I don't know. I honestly don't know.
It just said Suicide Squad with a picture of Superman on it. We assumed it was a game.
So I'm assuming
Might be Suicide Squad 2.
So tomorrow we could be getting Suicide Squad 2.
We're definitely getting
Return
Wonder Woman 84.
Slipknot.
That'll be the last Return of Slipknot. That'll definitely be the last trailer, I would say, before the film comes out. We're apparently getting a look at Black Adam for the first time.
Yep.
Excited for that.
Yeah. I'm excited for it. I think with
I'm
Wonder Woman,
how they're going to do it.
I think with Wonder Woman, we're definitely going to get a look at Cheetah.
Yeah, because we've not really we know she's in it.
Oh yeah,
and we know she's going to be a villain.
Yeah, her pop vinyl is out,
but we haven't actually seen her yet. I don't think. I think there's been a few screen caps.
There's been a few screen caps,
but we've not seen her in action yet.
No, we haven't.
Which is I kind of like that.
Yeah, but
because I would almost like them to not show us.
A little bit, yeah. Keep a little bit close to the chest, kind of keep people wanting it. I think for DC wise, I'm looking forward to Wonder Woman because out of all the DC movies that I watched in the first round that came out, Wonder Woman was probably my favorite.
Oh, what we are getting a look at tomorrow is Zack Snyder's Justice League cut.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I saw a thing for this morning. It was like a sneak teaser thing. So we're getting a look at his cut of the Justice League, where I didn't even realize how extensively they'd changed it, but there's a completely different look for Steppenwolf.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
And black suit Superman, and it's going to be a lot darker and stuff like that. So that's what's in the Justice League, the Zack Snyder cut.
Cool.
So we're going to get a look at that because I think that comes out next year, but it's on HBO.
Okay.
Exclusively, so we're gonna have to go get.
We have to get
streaming
HBO.
service.
Yeah.
There was another few DC things rocking around. Grant Gustin teased that there was going to be something for the Flash.
Yeah, they were saying I think they want to get I think Michael Keaton's Batman will be coming back because they want to do a Flashpoint Paradox movie.
Yeah, because they've got.
I think they got Ben Affleck
one or
back,
two
allegedly.
Allegedly, they do have Ben Affleck back as Batman. So that'd be cool if you got to see Michael Keaton, Ben Affleck, and Robert Pattinson together. That'd be cool. I also kind of want them to bring. I can't remember his name off the top of my head.
Mm-hmm.
But he was Ben Affleck's. He was Thomas Wayne in Ben Affleck's Batman. I can't remember what his name was off the top of my head.
He
played Negan as well.
He played the comedian in in Watchmen.
Yeah,
I can't remember his name.
There was a rumor going around for a little while that he was going to show up as Thomas Wayne's Batman.
Oh, that's awesome.
Because that's from the Flashpoint paradox.
Yeah.
And they were just going to bring a bunch of other stuff. Which actually means that Flashpoint and Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness are following the same sort of thing, because they've more or less said that Doctor Strange has got all 3 versions of Spider-Man in it.
Oh, fuck yes.
Because that's the other thing is they seem to be setting up for a Spider-Verse like live action sort of version thing.
Yeah.
Which should set up Secret Wars.
Oof.
And the way they're doing that now is by doing I assume they'll just be cameos in the multiverse thing.
Yeah.
And that Spider-Man will be the connecting character.
Like the bridge.
So I would say while you're doing that, I would expect a Robert Downey Jr. cameo as Iron Man and a Chris Evans Captain America cameo.
Yeah.
Because he'll be going to different universes where their fates weren't the same.
Yeah.
And I imagine I would be surprised if they didn't throw, even if it was just like glimpses of some of like the new TV shows that are coming.
Yeah.
Moon Knight would be cool. Even if we even not the costume.
Yeah.
But,
just to see like a teaser trailer of the Moon Knight, or even like just to get like Mark Spector or something like that.
I would say if it was going to be anything, he would run into somebody.
Yeah.
Pre Moon Knight, he would run into like pre Moon Knight Mark Spector.
Yeah, but like I think for like the hardcore like Moon Knight fans, because he has 3 personalities.
Yeah,
he has like the businessman, the millionaire, and then he's got the cab driver. I think if they do like a thing where they do a teaser trailer and they have the cab driver pick somebody up or pick up like a quote unquote bad guy or somebody like that.
Yeah.
And you just see like in the cab, you just see Mark Spector or something like that.
It'll be something as simple as that.
Something as simple as that, but
you won't see much of him. You'll just see the actor, and that'll be it.
Yeah. I think
Flash is sort of going along that sort of line as well. So I'd be interested. I wouldn't mind seeing a couple of different Aquaman costumes and stuff like that as well.
Yeah, like
I would find it hilarious if we saw Jason Momoa as Aquaman, but as like that 60s cartoon outfit.
Yeah.
Where he's just like the complete opposite of what his actual character is like, and he has shaved. Because he did that video after Aquaman was released.
Oh, really?
Like I think it was to raise funds for something.
Okay.
But yeah, he shaved his beard. So I was like, he's already shaved his beard. You just have to put a fucking blonde cap on him and...
Yeah, you're good to go.
You're winning. And all of a sudden you've got cheesy gay Aquaman, which is fucking riding a dolphin.
Well, to be fair, I think in the Aquaman movie...
Technically he skied on dolphins, didn't he?
I'm trying to remember. He is
stood on the back and like with
he's skiing on the back of like what is it, a giant seahorse or something like that?
Yeah,
something
weird.
It's super campy and it's super 60s,
and I love it.
Yeah,
so
but like in the
multiple Supermans would be nice.
Multiple Supermans.
Yeah,
Supermen. What, like Henry they bring
Cavill back and whatever
Smallville and all that kind of stuff.
Well, they already did that. And...
Oh yeah, that's right. They brought back.
But like, if they're gonna do like Flashpoint, like multiverse sort of thing, then like they don't have to do a lot, but like glimpses of these like past characters is always a good way to sort of get fans hyped for stuff.
Yeah,
but you're right. Like Smallville, like Henry Cavill, there was that Superman Returns guy who's now Adam, and that's a bit weird.
Also,
and then you've got the TV show version of Superman as well.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but is that Superman, the one in Superman Returns?
Yeah.
Is that the basis from Scott Pilgrim versus the World?
Yes. There's a lot. There's a lot of superheroes in Scott Pilgrim versus the World.
Yeah, Captain America.
Because Captain America is in it as well, and then he's Superman. And there was one other one.
There's Brie Larson. There's Captain Marvel's
in it.
And who else is in it? There's a few others in there. I can't remember exactly off the top of my head who's in it, but like there's Captain Marvel, Captain America, and then there's Superman. They're all in it, and they're all evil exes.
Yeah.
I love it.
It's fantastic. I love that movie. I might watch it later.
But like going back to but like while we're still on the topic of like superheroes and like with DC fandom, I think the last thing I'd like them to do, I think a lot of people would also like it as well, to see, even if it's like a few like set photos or maybe a trailer,
something for Batman,
because I got sent a picture the other day on Instagram of, I think, a picture drawn by Jim Lee of the new Batman and how it looks. And
I've seen the outfit.
The outfit looks incredible. It looks like a young Batman who's just like made his suit and all that kind of stuff, and he's like out in the city doing all the things that Batman is known to do, just going down, beating criminals to a pulp. Yeah, but he looks like he's just kind of put it together, like pre-Fox and all that kind of... like that. It looks...
I'll throw this picture up on Instagram.
Yeah. It looks amazing. But I would love it if fandom did something like that, if they threw out
I think it's technically fan art, but there's all these like different photos of them. Anyway, it just looks sick.
Yeah.
I'm a Batman fan. There's a Batman movie. I really wish I hope Robert Pattinson knocks it out of the park.
Well, after watching him in Tenet, and because Tenet it's a spy movie, he plays, and he does hold his own in that movie as well. I think he's one of the standout characters in that movie.
I think
he'll be fine.
Like people like us give him shit for
well, that's the thing.
Twilight. But even he's come out and like nobody hates Twilight more than Robert Pattinson. Except maybe Jack Whitehall.
Maybe.
But that's just because Robert Pattinson's in it.
Yeah. No, but
I am this close to starting an online campaign to force Jack Whitehall into being Robin.
I would love to see that.
So that he works with Robin Pattinson as his sidekick. Because he'd fucking hate it. But also, I think Jack Whitehall would be a really good campy Robin.
Oh my god, he would be the perfect boy wonder. He'd be like Jim Gillicuddy and all that kind of stuff. If you don't know who Jack Whitehall is, he's a very funny British comedian.
Skies of Death.
Oh yeah, from Flashpoint. Yeah, if you don't know who Jack Whitehall is,
he's a comedian.
He's a comedian and his stand-up. He has a new stand-up.
He does
on Netflix.
I can't remember what it's called. It's fucking hilarious.
Yeah, it's on Netflix, and if you get a chance, go check it out. It's fucking hilarious.
Is it his thing? Tragedy plus time equals comedy.
Yeah. I'm just trying to think, like, what else?
No, I think that's it.
I think that's it.
Otherwise, we're going to spend like 2 hours talking about Dungeons and Dragons again.
Yeah, probably.
Alrighty then. If you want to follow us on any social media, we are RealTalk_Pop Discussions. You can follow us on Twitch at twitch.tv/RealTalkPCD Gaming. You can follow me on Instagram at RealTalkRice and on Twitter at ReviewByLurch.
And if you want to follow me on Instagram and Twitter, I am JaredKiddo1.
Yeah, Pop Tales goes weekly as of
next week.
Next week?
Yes.
So not the week this podcast comes out the week after?
I think it's the week of this podcast coming out.
The week of this this Friday, it will go weekly.
Yeah.
We're calling it now.
Yeah.
And we are still working on a day where the house is quiet enough for us to do a stream.
Yeah.
We will work one out eventually, and then we'll start doing a bit of UFC, a bit of Minecraft, a bit of whatever. And that's it. Yeah. As always, guys, keep it real.
And stay sexy. And go watch some movies.
But wear a mask.
But wear a mask.